Hi, my name is Al Gleason, your mental performance coach. And if you are an athlete or former athlete that deals with stress and anxiety in your life outside your sport, then I can help you live a fulfilling life without experiencing the frustration and challenges that most athletes do. I've developed a system that I call the C3 system, and I'm going to share some high level concepts from that system with you today. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about mental performance and what that is, and then I'll go into some of those concepts. Mental performance, in my opinion, is the number one thing that contributes to the life that you live today. If you live an amazing life that you love and enjoy, it's because of your mental performance. If you're living a life that you don't enjoy so much, that's also because of your mental performance. How would I define mental performance? Simply put, it is the way that your brain processes information and executes functions necessary for you to live. This does include unconscious processes that you aren't aware of, as well as conscious processes. And it's those conscious processes that we can develop, that we can improve upon, that will ultimately affect the quality of the life that we live. Now, what is mental performance training? And that is simply just training for your mind that helps you enhance your mental performance. So why is mental performance so important? Well, whether you are on the field, in the office, nothing can be done without mental performance. Have you ever heard a quote that goes something like this? Sports is 10% physical and 90% mental. I know I heard coaches say that type of stuff all the time when I was coming up, and I never understood why they would say stuff like that. We never spent any time on mental performance per se. Everything was physical, right? The lifting weights, doing reps, running, jumping, nothing mental in terms of training that they were giving us. But the reality is that mental performance training is critical. Now, we spent 99.9% of the time on all the physical stuff. And I say 99.9% because we did get some motivational speeches and we spent some time in the film room, but nothing specifically taught or trained or training for us that was about the mental. And so it was always interesting to me. But that quote, just as a side note, that came from a famous catcher, one of the Yankees catchers. His name was Yogi Berra back in the early 1900s. And he was famous for all these weird quotes. And the actual quote that he said was that baseball was 90% mental and the other half was physical. And so, it was a joke thing that he made, and that's where that quote originated from. Just as a side note, it's just interesting how those things end up getting passed down through time. But anyway, mental performance is very, very important, even though the traditional training that we've gotten and that most of us have received does not focus on mental training. And really, it's been my experience that many things in life are this way. If we even focus on anything, the things that we're taught to focus on are not the most important things for us to be effective. A lot of times we spend time on the symptoms to get that quick, immediate satisfaction, but not spending time on the actual source or the cause that will give us the most benefit. Now, I mentioned to you that I would talk to you about my C3 system at a high level here. And so we're going to talk about one of the concepts today. But C3 denotes the process that we all go through when we want to improve our performance. We go from confusion to clarity to confidence. I'll say it again. We go from confusion to clarity to confidence. And in this video, we're going to talk about that confusion stage that we start at. Now, to define confusion for you, because I know you're probably like, what is this man talking about? What is Coach Al talking about? But the Cambridge Dictionary defines confusion, and I'm going to read it off here. It's a situation in which people do not understand what is happening, what they should do, or who someone or something is. Now, if you think about any time you started any new endeavor, that has been true. You don't know where to go, who to talk to. You might not even know exactly what the thing is that you need when you're trying to start something new. But every time we start that new endeavor, we start at that place. When you want to level up, when you want to have some massive change in your life, you find yourself in this situation where you don't know what to do or how to do it. And probably most of the people in your life, they say that type of thing all the time when it comes to something new. And that's what stops them. Who am I to try to go do this and do that? I don't know anything about that. And so they just continue on with their lives and they don't move past that confusion stage. But again, that's where everybody starts when you're starting something new, when you want massive change in your life. We all start from that place. Excuse me. Think about when you first learned how to ride a bike. Maybe you saw somebody do it. You had, older siblings or family members, friends, but you had no idea how fast you needed to go to ride a bike. Or some of us didn't even realize that you had to be moving to stay upright on a bike. You definitely had no idea of the forces that affected balance and inertia and how they impacted your ability to ride a bike. But all those things were at play. All that knowledge was in play. But you had no clue about it. If somebody tried to talk to you about that, you would be utterly confused. So when you're in the confusion stage, here are a few things that I want you to remember. Again, I want you to take notes, write these down, keep them somewhere where you can reference them easily. All right. So the first thing I want you to be mindful of is that it is normal and that everybody starts at this place of confusion. It's a part of the process. Nobody gets to skip it. All right. Number two, understand that you are ignorant of what to do next. Right. It's important to know this because sometimes people want to pretend like they know and they'll take wrong action, or some of them will do that and use excuses like they don't want to do it. They know what to do, but they just don't want to do it. Right. I found that people often have a sense of pride about what they know. And regardless of how many degrees you have, how much experience you have, there's still some knowledge that you don't have. And it will always be that way. As a matter of fact, there's so much knowledge out there that you don't even know what you don't know. And so I think that's a quote somewhere. I think it goes something like that. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. All right. So again, when you are in this confusion stage, you're starting something new, remember that you are ignorant of what to do next. That's okay. But the next step with that is, to go find the knowledge, right? The third thing, don't be judgmental of yourself or be hard on yourself, right? Make a decision not to treat yourself that way. As an athlete, I know my own experience. I'll be very hard on myself if I'm not at a level that I think I should be. And that's actually been one of the challenges of my life, is dealing with that. But don't be judgmental. Don't put yourself through that. You're starting something new. You're making changes. You don't know exactly how to do it. But if you stick with the process, you will get to the point where you do know what to do. And then you'll get to an expert level, just like you've done with everything else in the past. Another point, your lack of knowledge is just that. It is no indicator of your intelligence. It's just an indicator of your focus, of your past focus. Let me say that again. Your lack of knowledge is just an indicator of your past focus. It's not an indicator of your intelligence, right? So anything you focus on, you can learn, you can get, you can master. So if you don't know something, it means you just haven't focused on it. And the last point for this video, the most effective way to get out of this confusion stage is to ask questions. That is your weapon. That is your way out. You ask questions so you can get the answers, so you will learn and know what to do to move forward. All right, I hope that helps. I know this video got a little lengthy, but again, if you work these principles, meditate, mull over some of these things that I talked about, it will change your view of yourself. It will change how you approach new endeavors in your life. It will ease some stress that you might be experiencing, and will help you get on a path toward moving to that next thing. I'm Coach Al, your mental performance coach. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.